Welcome back to my channel. Hey, would you guys live overseas or abroad? We're thinking about it. Let's talk about it.
Just see those sleigh bells jingling, ring, tingle, tingling. I'm on to lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.
For years, I've always wanted to live abroad, especially in Europe. I've always wanted to live in Paris and speak French and bon to the jour, and I never did. Even become a flight attendant. I thought I would be based either overseas or on the East Coast, and I would commute from like JFK or LaGuardia Airport. But I'm still here in San Francisco, but we've been thinking about it. With all the events going on all year long and people working from home and Zooming, we now have that luxury that my husband can work from home. I can be based anywhere around the world, and if I'm not based there, I can commute there. A lot of us flight attendants do commute from other cities that we are based in, and maybe now's the time. But would I really leave San Francisco? I was born and raised here. That would be a tough sell. I don't know. We have been seriously thinking about it, folks, and it gives me chills because we could do it. The question is, where? We do have a top 5, maybe top 10 list of where we would live abroad or out of the country in no particular order, but one that we strongly think about is Mexico. We love Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We try to go twice a year, and we do absolutely nothing in Mexico but just be tourists. We just lay on the beach, people watch, eat great food, very inexpensive. Still close to California and San Francisco. We can get back to our families. So that's always been one of the places that we wanted to move to. Next on the list is Portugal. We heard a little rumor that if you buy something that's over $400,000, you become automatic residents of Portugal. With that much money, we better be residents. We went there last year or the year before last and fell in love the moment we stepped on that ground. It kind of gave you a San Francisco vibe. They also have the little trolley cars. It's on a hill, good food, good wine. Why not live in Portugal? Portugal is right next to Spain, which leads to our next destination would be Spain. It's a little bit harder to actually live in Spain than it is Portugal, and I think that's one of the reasons why I think we would choose Portugal over Spain, but definitely wouldn't rule out Spain. The funny thing about Spain is I've never been to Spain. I've never been there, but I've heard so much about it, so I guess we would actually have to vacation in Spain to find out if we like it or not. I believe my husband's been to Spain. I'm not sure, I gotta find that out. But I think that would be a great destination to live in because even if it's Spain, it's still close to Portugal, which we know we love. You know, we'll get the best of both worlds. Another European country would be Italy. Anywhere in Italy. Now we've been there many times, and every time we leave, we're like, oh, we gotta move to Italy. Let's go to Italy, let's live there, let's learn Italian, and let's do it. That's definitely on the high mark. If we never moved to Italy, we would definitely continue to visit there probably 3 or 4 times a year once we retire because it has everything. Another top destination that we would live abroad would be France. My husband speaks French, I speak French, ghetto. But we have friends who live there and they live like in the countryside of France, not really Paris, they're about 2 hours from Lyon. And every time we go there, we fall in love with the small little town, the little towns you see in the movies. But is that because of the movies, or do we really want to move into an area where it has 4 seasons? Which leads us to another place that we have friends in Europe is Zurich, Switzerland. It's a great place, it's beautiful, we have friends there, but you gotta bring your purse because it is expensive. I mean, it's one of our most expensive vacations, but because we have friends there, we keep going there, but it's expensive, y'all, so that may not be the place to be for retirement. So most of these places I'm thinking of is the place that we would retire on a fixed income, so it has to be somewhere cheap. So that would be all the European destinations. We do have, and Mexico of course, we do have a couple of Asian destinations, but it'd be more of temporary, like we would stay there for 3 or 4 months, and then we would move on somewhere else. Like we would love to stay in Indonesia, but that's not a year-round thing, or we would love to do like Hong Kong or a nice big huge city, Tokyo. So there are some Asian destinations that we would actually live, but not in a full-time basis. And if we decide to retire in good old United States of America, there are a couple of cities that we would want to move here in America. There are not many, but there are a few. Definitely San Francisco. I mean, why not retire in San Francisco? but I would have to continue to work a little bit longer because this is not a cheap city as well. We dibble and dabble into thinking about Palm Springs, but it can get too hot there in the summer times, but that could be the time that we travel. And New York City, ever since I was a little girl, I've always wanted to live in New York City, in Manhattan, Upper East Side. And when Sex and the City movie and TV show came out, I was pumped. I was ready to go. When I came out of training, I had the opportunity to be based in JFK, and a friend of mine in training talked me out of it. Oh no, you should stay in San Francisco. They're offering it. We could be best friends. You can be in a place that you are familiar with while you're on probation, and then you can move. I'm still in San Francisco. So definitely New York City. Honorable mentions would be Washington, D.C. I'm always smiling and having a great time in Washington, our nation's capital. And definitely Chicago. Well, that's all the cities I have. I want to know where you guys would live abroad. If you had the opportunity to live anywhere in the world, where would you live? Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next video. Stay tuned. Bye, girl. Bye.